Hey, I am so excited to be here. I know I'm a little bit early. I just wanted to make sure everything is working fine. If you are here in the room and you can hear and see me, then go ahead and put comments at the bottom. If you scroll underneath, you'll see that there's a comment box. And I know it's difficult if you're on mobile. Somebody told me that if you're on mobile, it doesn't allow you to comment, or it's weird. I know it's. I apologize for that. But I'm so excited for today's topic because, God, y'all, I'm such a recovering, and I say a recovering superwoman. Um, yes, I'm a recovering superwoman. Let me scroll down. Okay. So, yeah, and I'll hop right in. I like to keep these short, but it's good. So I'm really excited, as y'all can tell. Okay, and I also have my notes because y'all, people that know me know I love to talk. And so I have notes to keep myself on track. This is actually, I wait a little bit because I know I'm early, but I'm going to take this time to introduce myself in case some of you ladies do not know me yet. You will, though. You will definitely get to know me. I am like this all the time. This is my personality. So if you love that and you like Southern girls with dimples and you like learning about the Word of God and just being with an amazing group of women that have like minds, then you will love this group. Well, this session, because the group is separate. I'll talk about that later. But I am excited to see who's in the room. I love it, love it, love it that you are all signed in. And I pray, guys, I've been having extreme struggle net, meaning the internet sometimes freezes. And so my husband is ordering this device that'll kind of like help it run smoother. So please bear with me in the coming weeks until that arrives. But in the meantime, I'm going to get started. I am so excited. So, welcome everybody. I am so glad you are here with me. I see all your beautiful faces scrolling through, and I'm excited. Can y'all tell I said excited like 5 times? But I'm excited to be here and to have you all here. It's an honor, it's a pleasure, and I do not take your time for granted. So, with that being said, it is on my time 4:59, and we are gonna hop into it. So as you guys know from the graphic that I posted on Facebook, the amazing Wonder Woman, we're going to be talking today about how to overcome this superwoman syndrome. And I know I put Wonder Woman, but you know, whether it's Wonder Woman or Superwoman, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So how to overcome this one superwoman syndrome, right? We all have her inside of us. If you are a woman, if you are a mom, if you are a wife, if you work in the church, I don't care like what you do, you have woman syndrome inside of you. We just have it innately. We are just nurturers by nature, and we love taking care of people. And nothing is wrong with that. But sometimes it can be an issue. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Um, and let me see, let me scroll up. Okay. And we're going to talk about, so today I want to kind of, like I said, I want to have a sequence. I want to stay on task. And so I want to cover the what of the superwoman syndrome, the why of the superwoman syndrome, and the how, because it doesn't do you any good if I just point out like all this stuff and then like don't even tell you how to like overcome it, right? So I learned about this. I cannot take credit for this book. These doctors are allergy and like these stats. They had amazing stats of women and like dealing with this superwoman syndrome. And I did a talk on it well, maybe about I want to say a week or two ago to a married group of women, and so we were talking a lot about how it relates to marriage. But whether you're married or not, like this is a problem. Like you will find somebody to rescue because that's like I said, is innately in us to like help people and to serve. And nothing is wrong with that, but it can become a problem if it's done the way that we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about five characteristics of this superwoman. And I want you to keep track because I want you to see like how many of them are you, right? Because I know I had like a bunch of them. And I'm going to share with you like what happened in my life. And I pray that it blesses you as well and you kind of learn from my mistakes. Is that okay? I hope it's okay because I'm gonna share it anyway. But so we're gonna get started. And so the five characteristics of this superwoman. So a superwoman, first of all, is somebody who, like I said, and you're gonna get to see it in the characteristics, but she is very save the to others, even at the expense of herself. So that's the first characteristic of a characteristic of a superwoman, is that she is very given, even when it sacrifices herself. Right. So how many people have that characteristic? Like how many of you ladies like listening, like that's me, that's me. Like you give, you have this perceived obligation, like you have to always be strong. You can never let them see you sweat, right? Like that's actually a saying, like never let them see you sweat, right? You know, and I get it. I mean, we all want to be these strong women, you know, we all want to be, but as a superwoman all the time, like you carrying that all the time, it gets a bit heavy. You know what I mean? Like it gets a bit heavy. So she always, though, this is her characteristic. Like, I'm strong. I got this. Like she has a perceived obligation. Like she has to be this woman. So she'll suffer in silence. She won't let anybody know, even if she's in need, if she's sick, whatever the case is, somebody will offer something. She'll be like, oh no, girl, I'm good. Like she won't even take it. And we'll get down to that. I'm really moving ahead, but that's one of her characteristics. The second characteristic is that she has a perceived obligation to suppress her emotions. She's not allowed to process her own emotions because someone is always relying on her. So she feels that if she, you know, asks emotion, it's like a weakness because she has to be the strong person. You know, she can't be the one who breaks. Like she can't be, because so many people are like relying on her. So if she breaks, then what are they going to do? Right? Like she has to have this. And I mean, there's so many examples of these, you know, perceived like strong women. We're almost like in our culture, you're kind of like taught that you have to be this strong woman, no matter what. Like, don't let people see you, like I said, sweat. Don't let people see you break or fall. And it's really like we've made ourselves into that. But every human being, I mean, you hurt just like anybody else hurt. You know what I mean? And so if you're constantly like putting that on yourself, there's no help for you. Like there's no out for you. You know, there's no outlet. You know, who's going to save the day for you? You know what I mean? And so that's the second characteristic, is that she feels like she has to suppress her emotions because, I mean, she's the go-to. You know what I mean? And the go-to can't fail, right? Like, you know, she's so concerned about everybody else that she suppresses her own need for help or for strength or for prayer or for whatever she needs, you know? The third characteristic of this amazing superwoman is that she has a resistance to vulnerability or dependence on help from others, because no one is ever putting on their cape for her. Like I said, nobody's caping up for her, right? She's so used to everybody needing her to make decisions and to fix things or to clean up messes or be the savior, right? Like she's the one, she's the go-to, that she has a problem when it comes to being vulnerable and asking for help herself. Excuse me, even though she's offered it. So sometimes you have a situation like for me, right? And when my kids were babies, you know, I still have some in toddlership. You know, I have their well, I say toddlers, but I have a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, a 5, almost 6, and a gonna be 4-year-old in May. So I mean, they're kind of still in the younger stages. And people would ask me all the time, like, sis, let me get them, or let me help you with this. And I'm like, girl, I got it, because I feel like as a mom, like these are my kids, and that's just, to me, I'm like, you take care of your kids. That's what you do. You don't really need to ask somebody else for help. But I found that where I was erring in me is that when somebody else asks you, and I'm not saying let everybody help with your children, because you got to know who people are, especially in these days, right? So I'm definitely not saying that. But like, even my mom, you know what I mean? Like I would even have issues like I got them, like I got them. And what I found though is that by me allowing myself to have time for me, it started to feel more natural. It started to feel like nothing. As I began, the more I did it, the more I felt like, okay, nothing is wrong with that, right? My kids all came back safe. They were okay. And I felt good. And I found that I needed that, but at the time, being a superwoman, I'm like, I got this. Like, I don't need no help. I nursed all my kids. I had all my kids. You know what I mean? It almost was like a badge of honor, because I didn't need help. And that's a lot of times the characteristic of the superwoman, because she's like, she takes pride in not needing help. She takes pride in like being able to do it all herself. She takes pride in not breaking, you know what I mean? Like bearing all this stuff and never needing help with it, even though she knows inside it's not healthy for her. And she really is broken inside and she really does need help, And so that's why we're talking about her today. I hope that this helps you to be delivered from this superwoman like I had to be. And I'm going to tell you what brought on my deliverance. The fourth characteristic of this superwoman, I hope y'all keeping up, because I can't see the comments right now because I'm like scrolling through reading and stuff, but I will check later on. So if y'all have any comments, questions, whatever, if it's blessing you, not blessing you, I don't know, just put it down, let me know so that I can know and I can tweak it and make it better. And at the end, you could also leave a review and let me know that way too, like how you like the session or whatever the case is, right? So the fourth characteristic of this superwoman is that she has a motivation to succeed despite limited resources. Now, we know that there's nothing wrong with being successful. I mean, like I said, I'm a mom of 5. I've been married almost 13 years. I have a bachelor's degree. I have my thing up there. I don't know if you can see it because I have my pictures of my babies that my babies drew me in the back. Just always a reminder that they're with me. And so I've done all this stuff. I've accomplished all this stuff, so nothing is wrong with you wanting to succeed. But she has this sense like she's going to make sure everybody get what they need. She's going to make sure, even if she have a little bit to work with, she knows somehow she's going to make it happen. She's going to make $1 out of 15 cents. Like that's her thing. Like, and it's not just for her children. It's for somebody else's child. It's for the church. She makes sure everybody gets taken care of. That's her nature. She's very motivated to succeed because, again, her badge of honor is that she could carry all this stuff, right? She takes pride in that she was able to do 15 things this week. You know what I mean? Like she really is prideful about that. It makes her feel good. It really does. It makes her feel good. And number 5, so the 5th characteristic is she prioritizes the caregiving on providing care to others, in contrast with balancing that self-care with self-care or taking care of herself. So in other words, she doesn't take much time for herself. She's the martyr for her household. She's the martyr for her children. And so she feels like she's doing good, because she's being selfless. And I mean, we would think nothing is wrong with that. I mean, you're serving other people. That's what God wants you to do. We, especially in ministry, we hear about this virtuous woman, right? And when I first began to read about that, I was like, I mean, y'all, like I actually printed out, like I was like, I'm not going to read all of this, but we know about this virtuous woman, right? Like, I think it's Proverbs 31. And it says who can find a virtuous woman? Her price is above rubies. I mean, the heart of her husband does safely trust in her. She's doing good to him all her days. I'm skipping through, y'all, but this is like, she does a lot, right? She's seeking wool, flax. She worked willingly with her hands. She rides while it's yet night. To prepare her household. I mean, this woman had businesses. Her husband is speaking well of her in the gates. I mean, she just doing the most, right? She just got it together. And we praise this woman. And when I first, I'm telling y'all, for years, I was like, who? Because I'm like, with these kids, like, I'm tired. Like, when I thought of the virtuous woman, I was like, there's no way possible. Like, she just seemed like she just working for me. She has no break. Who wants that? Like, I was like, God, I don't ever see me being virtuous, because ain't nobody, I mean, she rising while it's night. I mean, she cooking, and she got maid servants, and she got business. I didn't understand is that I really didn't understand her, you know? And so I began to focus on doing the things that she did. And I know we can all relate to this, because I'm big, and we talk a lot about this in the group, about doing versus being, you know, because when you're doing, it's like something that you are, you know, like you're trying to do. It's not a part of who you are yet, right? But when you're being something, you don't have to worry about the doing, because just because you're that's who you are, you automatically do those things, right? And I didn't understand that this is who this woman was being, you know, like, that's just, it wasn't a strength for her to get up and rise and do those things. And now I look at it, which is so odd. I'm just thinking about this now. A lot of those things I'm doing. I work. I have a mom of 5. I graduated successful. I mean, just various things, like, I'm doing it, but it's not because I'm trying to focus on the doing. It's because of who I'm now being. And it doesn't even feel, I'm not stressed out. Like, I feel good. I'm going to tell y'all some of the things that I do to kind of help with that. But, you know, I mean, I feel the best that I have in a long time. But when I was focused on doing, what ended up happening, and I'll share this with y'all, and I'll get back on track, because again, I'm moving through this quickly because I don't want to hold y'all all day. But I feel like this is important to share for somebody who's trying to just do it all right now. I'll never forget, I believe I was like 25. I just turned 25. My son was graduating from kindergarten, and I was at his kindergarten graduation. And of course, because I was Superwoman, you know, I had it all. I'm like, okay, I got the kids. I got this. I got this. Oh, no, husband, don't worry about it. Even when my husband would try to help, I was Superwoman, because I'm like, a husband is not, you know, he don't have to do that. Like, I got it. You know, I'm the woman. I'm not, at the time I wasn't working, and I felt like he was working. So I should be the one bearing it all. Right. Like, even though these are his kids, of course, you know, but I just felt like, as a Superwoman, you should be able to do it all. I really had that belief that I should be able to do it all. And so I'll never forget, of course, being Superwoman. I was the mom that got the juice. I was the mom that got the cake, right? Like, because I'm like the room mom, because I'm Superwoman, you know, and I want to be there for my son, and I want him to have good memories and all that stuff. And that's good. But let me tell you what happened because of me doing. And I was active in ministry. I mean, so active in ministry. Like, I don't know how I did it all to today. And I think I wasn't in school at that point. I may have been in college too. And I was not a C student. So I'm like, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, like this perfectionist type Superwoman, which was even worse. And so as my son's getting ready, they're sitting in a little thing, you know, like kindergartners, they're sitting in Indian style or whatever. And I'm like, this is so cute. So I have my camera, I'm ready to take pictures. And I go knock on the door. I'm like, the juice is here, you know, the cake is here, all this stuff. And I turn around to my friend who had also come for the graduation. And I say, you know, I'm really not feeling well. Like I said, I feel dizzy. And they said, oh, you know, you want me to go and get it? I said, you know, go ahead. And before they could even turn around good to go and get the chair, I collapsed. When I say I collapsed, like I completely collapsed. And there was I couldn't move anything. Like it was like I was paralyzed from, I want to say my neck down. Because I remember I couldn't even open my eyes. I couldn't swallow. Like all the systems and functions in my body was totally paralyzed. And so people, of course, started coming. And then this is what Superwoman is thinking. Because remember, she doesn't let people see her sweat. Like she don't do that. you know? And so I'm laying there and I can hear people, but I'm sorry, I got a message. I can hear people in the, I could hear people saying things, right? Like I can hear people saying, "Oh my God, like, is it, is she pregnant?" And I was thinking in my mind, no, they were like, maybe she's hungry. Like, is she a diabetic? One person was a nurse. Thank God for the nurses. And this man was like, well, maybe she's hungry. I have a burger in the car. And I remember thinking in my mind, like, please don't let this man put nothing down my throat because I will die. I will like choke out and die because I cannot, he doesn't know I can't swallow, I can't breathe, but I'm like, please don't let this man put nothing down my throat, So I feel him like sticking me and getting blood. And it was the craziest experience. I couldn't communicate at all with them. All my systems had shut down. And so of course, ambulance comes, I'm still in that position and they say, don't move her. I could hear them, but again, I couldn't move or anything. 25 years old, totally healthy, And so they put me on the stretcher and everything. And at this time, so they give me oxygen. And at this time, like I was in the ambulance for a little while and I started being able to, barely speak. And I was really struggling to speak. And I remember the first thing that came out of my mouth, because my husband was right there with me. And the first thing that came out of my mouth, it was a Wednesday night, because I remember this because of what came out of my mouth. I looked at him and I said, I was gasping. I was like, call Sister Nikita and let her know that I'm not going to be there for praise and worship, because I had to sing that night. I was praying because Superwoman. And so it was Wednesday night and I'm like, I got to be there to sing, because who's going to sing my part? You know what I mean? Like if I'm not there, like the praise team is going to be like, and the people of God are going to like it. And I wish I could just get up out of this bed. Like first thing come to your mind, and you in an ambulance is worrying about the praise team, which is good. I mean, it's loyalty, it's dedication, but really, you know what I mean? My husband like, girl, I'm not worried about you singing on the praise team right now. Like I'm trying to see what's going on with you, So ambulance takes me to the hospital. At this point, by the time my pastor got there, I mean, all my limbs, everything was purple. It just was bad. Well, they did all these tests on me, and it turns out it was stress. It was too much. But my body had been telling me that it was too much. It was just too much, But again, you don't slow down because you gotta do it. Like this is who you are. Okay, I'm asleep just when, just stress. So I share that with y'all because that's what a Superwoman does, and I don't want you to collapse like I did or to suffer from just trying to be the Superwoman. Like, yes, it's okay to do good for people and it's okay to take care of your kids and prioritize things, but you also have to take care of yourself, but she doesn't know how to do that. One of the fifth characteristics, she puts everybody before herself. She doesn't balance with self-care. She doesn't take much time for herself. She's the martyr of her household. She's the martyr for her children. And so she feels like she's doing a good thing. She's being selfless, but you can't effectively, and I use that word effectively on purpose, because you might get by for a while, but you can't sustain it. You can't keep up with that, and so I use the word, you can't effectively give what you don't have. You just can't. You can't do it at the bank. You don't have money in there. You can't get nothing out, and you can't do it with your health. You can't do it. So selflessness, because I know she's doing these things for other people and because she feels like it's a good thing and she's being selfless, but that must first start with you. You can't give out what you don't have, and you're teaching your kids how to love themselves by how you love yourself. So if you're not taking time out for yourself, then you're really doing them a disservice, because you're teaching them to do the exact same thing. And I have daughters, and I don't want my daughters burning out thinking that this is the way, like, this is the way God wants you to serve, because you can't serve God. You can't serve people. You can't serve anybody when you're just, you don't have it to give because you didn't put anything in, So now we're going to talk about the ramifications. Like y'all heard mine. Like my body gave out. Like I was like paralyzed. Like, I mean, they wanted to take my license, because at one point I began to kind of have like seizure-like activity, like seizures almost. And they were like, we can't chance that happening behind the wheel, let alone with my kids. So when I began to see these things, I was like, it's just not worth it. And it made me, my husband he prepaid because he know like I'm not gonna waste the money. So he prepaid for me massage sessions, and he is the best massage therapist. But he was like, if that's what it takes, because he knew that if I would just wait for him to do them, then I would try to get out of it. So he actually paid for me to go somewhere just so that I would go. And so I had to take extreme measures. But, if you this superwoman and you continue to operate like that, you're going to have higher blood pressure than other women, even men. You even going to have network stress, which means that stress that's not even belonging to you, but you take a stress just because other people stress. Like, something happened with your coworker on the job, you're going to take it on for yourself because you care that much about people, or you feel that much for people. So it's network stress. It ain't even your stress, but you owning your stress and other people's stress, and you're going to have, one of the statistics from the video I saw was that you're going to have higher rates of breast cancer and other cancers because you're going to delay your own health, right? Your own seeking of health, because again, you got this, like it's nothing. You're going to get there. You're going to get to it, right? We put it off because we put ourselves last because our focus is on caregiving to other people. And another statistic they had was lower birth rate babies, birth weight of their babies, because again, you caring so much about everybody else, you're like the last person. So like I said, I don't think it's sustainable at all, and if you do survive living this way, you're going to have severe health issues. Like long term, you just can't. God didn't design the body to carry that. He even said, cast all your cares upon me, for I care for you, because we're not designed to hold all of that, right? So when I collapsed in the hospital, like I said, now I have 5 kids. I think at the time I may have had 3. But I had a daughter who was in competitive gymnastics. I had a son that was in gymnastics. My son graduation, I was worried about. I mean, I had a ton of things on me. But thinking about it now, like if I would have died right there, somebody else would have been raising my kids. Like somebody else would have been doing that stuff. So somebody else would have been singing the praise team. So I was like, well, if that's the case, I'm going to let people help now. Like I'm going to start delegating some of that stuff, and I'm going to rotate with praise team because I mean, if I would have died, somebody else would have had to shoot up and sing anyway. So why not now? You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying abandon all your stuff, but I had to find a better balance because it was just my body told me it was too much for me, And like I said, I have daughters that I have to do it for. I have to teach them. And the first step of me ensuring their health and my family's health and the health of my husband is to first take care of myself. Serving and volunteering and doing things, but they have to start with yourself, whether it's in ministry or, with the animal shelter or whatever you like to do, you first have to take care of yourself because you can't put out what you don't have. And so you have to learn how to save yourself. And sometimes it takes radical self-love and radical self-care because without you, your family is severely at stake. Like I said, somebody else was going to be raising my kids and I ain't having that, And your marriage and your motherhood, if you're married, are just motherhood, right? That's unselfish love and sacrifice. But being a good wife or being a good mom, it has to still start with you first because you can't give out what you don't have. So now we're going to talk about how to overcome this superwoman syndrome and things that I did, right? Let me check on y'all because I know I've been talking for... People are trying to apologize, but I'll go. They'll probably have to catch the replay, and I'll just go ahead and talk about the how because that's important. So how to actually overcome this. For me, my husband asked me at one point, he said, go ahead. I'm going to take care of the kids. You just go do something for you. And I realized how bad it was because I didn't even know what to do. I mean, I was not used to that. I didn't know what I liked anymore. I totally lost myself in the roles that I had as a wife, mom, friend, daughter, sister, church member, whatever, right? And so I didn't know what I liked anymore. And so what I began to do is take that time to relearn myself at this age, at this stage in my life, the season that I'm in, all of these things. And that's what I feel like for you, if that's where you are right now, it's always important to learn who you are now, season of your life, because you're not who you are today. You're not the same person you are today that you were in your 20s. You know what I mean? Like you're different, you're growing, you're evolving, and you need to know who you are and the things that you want in your life, you know, so that you can make sure that you're fulfilling the vision that God have for you and that you have for yourself, you know. So thus, I just want you to start with taking 15 minutes every single day, whether it's just to breathe, whether it's to take a walk, just have a little time for yourself. Like take 15 minutes out of every day, have that time for yourself. Another thing you can do is one day a week, at least one day a week. I take God 3 or 4, honestly, because it's not long times, but it's not long times, but it I feel good, like I said. So I'm gonna tell you what I do. But take at least one day a week, go do something just for you. You don't have to, not for your husband, not for your kids, not for nobody else but you. You have to purpose to take that time, because you're not gonna, a recovering superwoman, like for me, as a recovering superwoman, like you won't naturally feel like it's right for you to be taking that time for yourself, because you're going to feel like there's so much you need to do. There's so many people depending on you. And honestly, some people might even be upset because you have the nerves to take time for yourself. They might feel some type of way about that. But guess what? That's okay. Because you know, and once you start doing it, you're going to feel the difference, and you're going to know like what you're doing is the right thing for you. You know, there's always going to be more for you to do. So you can't wait. Oh, I'm going to put it off. I'm going to wait. Like there's always going to be something for you to do. So you have to take that time. You have to purpose to take that time. So your homework this week, I love giving homework. Your homework this week is to take time for yourself. I don't care what it is, do something for you. Whether it's like for me right now, I go with my daughter. So it's kind of like a multi-purpose thing, right? Because I get to spend time with my daughter. She's 16 now. I love hanging out with her. She's like awesome. And so we go to like our boot camp three days a week. Right? Like I get off of work, I come change, I go get ready. We go to boot camp, and it's 20 minutes of intense workout, but we feel so good. Like I've gotten so much stronger just going there. And for me, it was my energy. My energy level was so low before, like I would be tired all the time. But now going to this class is like, it's really doing a lot for me. And so that's a good thing. I also take kickboxing. So on Saturdays, that's my thing. And Saturdays are for my kids. I do not work on the weekends. And so for my kids on Saturday, while they're still resting and my husband is here, I go in the morning and I go to kickboxing, and I love it. Like I don't love the punching so much, but I love to kick. And so that's something I started doing for me. And it's been about 3 weeks now, and I love it. I have so much more energy. But it's like at first I felt kind of bad, but then I feel good now. I see how it makes me feel. I have a lot more energy. I feel better than I've felt in years, honestly, you know, and I'm losing weight. I mean, you know what I mean? I could shout a little longer at church without getting tired, you know, so I don't have to give them so many wave offerings because I can't really move too much, you know, not huffing and puffing. So that's something that I do for me. So you just have to do it. You just have to do it. And another thing that I just started was another thing that I love and I would admonish you to do. I don't care if it's my group or it's just getting with your friends or whatever, but join a group of like-minded women who share similar interests and similar goals to you, where you can be supported and also use your talents and abilities to support other people. That is so important. We as human beings need to feel like we are contributing to other people. Like, so you need the right people. There's a quote that says like, you are the sum total of your 5 closest friends, or the 5 people around you. Like, is there people negative? Is it not? Do you have like a vision for yourself and other people don't get it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the thing for me. So I'm like, I needed to be around people who got it, who love God, who felt like, you know, you can be successful without sacrificing your relationship with God. I wanted to draw those women into me. And I'm telling you, like, God has brought the most amazing women into this group. I love it. I love the progress they take in action. It's not excuses, it's action. And we just hold each other accountable. But at the same time, we all have the same mind. I mean, it's amazing what God can do. And so, yeah, like I said, because I'm a recovering superwoman myself, I started this group called the Truth Room. And it's an accountability group where Christian women could grow and develop together, both naturally and spiritually, and be honest about where they are and what they want to achieve in a safe and confidential environment. And that means I didn't want people lurking in there. I didn't want people just joining for the wrong reasons or like getting people information. Like, it's so much trust and respect and like vulnerability in the group. I couldn't just let anybody in. You know what I mean? So, and I wouldn't want it for myself. And what I don't want for myself, I don't give to my group. And they know, like, I'm in there, like I'm all in with them. And so I love it. You know, it's just a safe place for you to go for you. It's not a place for just me. Like, it's not about my husband. It's not about my kids. It's not about the school. It's not about, you know, the PTA. It's just for me to work on myself and grow every week and have accountability, even me. And I love that they pour into me. I pour into them. It's just amazing. I love this place to go. I couldn't find it, so I created it. You know, it was nowhere on the internet with this kind of minded women, right? There's business groups and things like that, but the mind of the women, you know what I mean, that honors God at the same time as you progressing naturally. I personally don't believe there is any true success without God. And so for me, he's the foundation. He's the core of everything that we do. And because of that, we've been able to break chains and just make so much progress in the group because of that. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And so, and also where you don't have to worry about, you know, doing this by yourself and feeling like you're by yourself in this journey, or like, you know, you have nobody to support your vision, because we're totally supportive in there. And because, you know, we're all growing together. We don't, like I said, no excuses. We just make progress. We focus on our progress every week. And so, yeah, like I share with y'all, the progress in the group has been amazing. I mean, week 1, oh my God, like, I was so proud of them. Like, they were in there doing it. I mean, spending time with their kids, like carving out time. We set goals the first week and just like they're doing it, you know, and I'm so proud of them. You know, how they show up, they support one another. A lot of times before I could even get in the group, they like tending to one another. They encouraging one another. I love it. And I would love to see that for you as well. So like I said, whether it's my group or you just getting with, you know, supportive, positive friends, you need that in your life. But if the group that I just mentioned, which is the Truth Room, if that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, we would love to have you, because I know that you have the same mind if you're in this room, because you took the time out for yourself. You've been here at least 33 minutes, because it's 5:33 right now, you know, and so I know you took this time out for yourself, and I honor that and I respect that. And so if you want to be a part, we would love to have you. You just have to, let me see, I'm looking for the button. Okay, so you just have to, there's a button below that says join the Truth Room accountability group. You just click that button, you sign up. I purposely, and I want y'all to hear this group is worth way more than that. I'm very aware, but I purposely made it only $27 a month. Why? Because I wanted you to be able to get the support that you need without and have it be affordable. It is an investment, I get it, but it's less than $1 a day, and it includes so much support and growth, both naturally, like I said, and spiritually. And I made it such a low entry investment, but honestly, for most of us, we spend more than that on one meal at Cheddar's, coffee at Starbucks, our hair, our nails are laid and dyed, and our edges are together. You know what I mean? So investing $27 a month in your mental health and your well-being and the sisterhood, nothing, to be quite honest. I mean, to be quite honest, that is like nothing. And you'll see, like, if you decide to join us, you'll see what we do in the group and stuff like that. It is the best $27 that I believe you could ever spend, honestly. I know I'm biased, but other members will tell you too. It's not just me. So I created this, like I said, for us to have somewhere to go. That's just for us, not our kids, not our husbands, not our friends who don't understand why we want more out of life or what we want. So like I said, if you want to be a part, there's a button below that says join the Truth Room accountability group. Click that and join. And then once you do, you know, join, and I see that you join, I'll approve you to get into the group. And that's when you're going to see our meeting schedules. You're going to see, we are now, the format of the group is different from what I'm doing now. We all see each other. It's so awesome. Like, we all see each other. We all are there. You know, because when you're just like talking and you hear somebody's voice over the phone, they can tell you like, oh no, I'm fine, right? And then you listen for the voice to see like, are they really fine? But when you see somebody and you all seen each other, you can really see if they're fine or not. And so for me, that's a big part, because there's no sister left behind. There's no woman left behind. When you join this group, you become you become the person to get to where you go, because you don't have an excuse. We all lifting you up. So that's just the kind of group it is. So like I said, if that's something you're interested in, I would love to have you. All the sessions are recorded. You could, and yeah, so you'll see the meeting schedules. You'll be able to catch up on the assignments that the group is working on right now for next week when we meet live. All the sessions are recorded. So if you can't make a live session, you can leave a question or do a Facebook Live in the group, and the group will address your concerns together. We'll actually powwow about it, and you can watch it later when you have time. Like I said, there's no sister left behind. When you join us, we got you, like you're part of us. And so I'm going to now scroll to see if there's any questions. To see if there's any questions below. I'm not seeing anything. But if you do have questions, even afterwards, I'll try to come back, pop in here, and see if there's any questions. Anything about the group or about the Superwoman session, whatever it is, let me know. And if you can, I would love it. If you can, I would love it if you leave a review. You actually, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a place where you can leave a review. Like I said, if you have a topic suggestion or you want to message me about anything, that's a box below as well. They're all down below for you. I would love to hear from you, because I can't interact with you in person live like we do in the group in these sessions, but I would absolutely love to hear from you and how you're enjoying the sessions, or if you have, feedback from me, I would love that as well. And I don't see any questions. It is now 5:38. I honor your time. I thank you so much for being here. I pray that something that I shared with you has blessed you. In the 5 characteristics of a superwoman, you see some of those things in yourself, and you actually begin to work on it. You take the homework and begin to just take time out for yourself this week, and just even share that with me. Send me a message and tell me what you did this week that was just for you and how you feel afterwards. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I had an awesome session with you all. I'm so glad you pressed your way to be here. And I will see you, God willing, next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, same time. Bye. Love you all.